Admit everyone, we can go ahead and do that. Great, thank
Are you ready to admit everybody?
you. Yes, ma'am. All right, I see we have 21 participants with, I think, probably still a few more to join this morning, but we'll go ahead and get started out of respect for everyone's time. Getting a little feedback here for some reason, which is a great opportunity to ask everyone, if you're not speaking, if you could please mute your microphone, and if you wouldn't mind also turn off your camera unless you're speaking, that would be great. That tends to avoid any kind of sound feedback that we sometimes get. But welcome, good morning. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Friday morning to be with us. My name's Corey Eimer. I'm the Kentucky Career Center operator with Brighton Center. And hopefully you're in the right place. This is an orientation to Kentucky Career Center employer services. I'm still hearing feedback for some reason. If everybody could please mute, that might help. I don't know. I just hear myself talking a couple of seconds after I say it. But I'm going to sort of give an overview of the day. And we have several of our partners here with us this morning that are going to each take some time to talk to you a little bit about their organization and their program and their role in serving employers through the Kentucky Career Center Network in Northern Kentucky. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right in here. So some of you may be already somewhat familiar with the Kentucky Career Center. Others may have no idea about the Kentucky Career Center. And either way, that's okay. We're going to kind of cover everything from the basics to getting down into the weeds a little bit. First of all, what is the Kentucky Career Center? We'll cover that at a higher level. We'll also, hone in on specifically our services for employers. And I always like to say that the Kentucky Career Center serves both employers and job seekers. And today is really an orientation to talk about our employer services in particular. So what you learned today is just sort of half of the services, if you will, that the Kentucky Career Center can provide. We have a whole other orientation for our job seeker services. And then we're going to get in deep into some of our specific employer services, and which is where our partners come in, who will dive into their particular programming and service offerings. And then there will be an opportunity for Q&A at the end. I would say there will be plenty of time. Usually there's about 10 minutes for questions and answers. However, if you do have questions throughout, I would encourage you to go ahead and put those in the chat box. And Katie Jo with the Workforce Investment Board is with us to kind of be the meeting facilitator today. And so she'll monitor that chat feature to bring to my attention anytime there's questions that are put in there, and we'll try to address those. So we'll move right along here. What is the Kentucky Career Center? We are the largest workforce resource for both job seekers and employers in Northern Kentucky. And I should say also not only the largest, but the most comprehensive. One of the more common misconceptions, I believe, is that people think that the Kentucky Career Center is a standalone organization. We are not. We're a collaboration of 13 different workforce partners, which really positions us to really meet the comprehensive needs of both employers and job seekers, because each of our partners work together cohesively to really fit that particular specific need for our employer and job seeker customers. And we are driven by the Northern Kentucky Workforce Investment Board. The Northern Kentucky Workforce Investment Board oversees all of the Kentucky Career Centers in the Northern Kentucky region. And they contract with Brighton Center to administer the direct workforce services and to operate the Kentucky Career Centers. I also want to mention that the Northern Kentucky Workforce Investment Board, also known as the WIB, I'll say WIB from now on because Workforce Investment Board is a little bit of a mouthful, but the WIB is made up of over half employers. So if you think about the composition of our WIB membership, by policy, it needs to be at least 51% employers. So they really come at the work through an employer lens and really have that employer voice around the table. So I like to think we really are in tune with the current workforce needs of our employers and when it comes to attracting and retaining talent. I mentioned that we're a collaboration of 13 different partner organizations. I love this slide because it's a great illustration of all of those different partners. I also like to say, though, that this is not an all-inclusive list. The logos that you see here on this slide represent the organizations who are in an MOU level partnership with the Kentucky Career Center Network in Northern Kentucky. And what that means is it just formalizes the partnership a little bit more. But certainly we partner with many organizations that aren't represented here on this slide. I want to go around and talk about several of these organizations. I unfortunately don't have time to really get into the nitty gritty of what each organization does, but that's part of the point of today is so that you can hear directly from some of these partners. And even at the end of today's orientation, I'm sure that there are some things that we don't have time to cover. And so there's still much more to learn. And so I would encourage you to reach out to any of us if you have further questions or would like more information about how we can work with you and your business in terms of recruiting and retaining talent. If you want to kind of think of this as a clock, I'll start with 12 o'clock. One of our state partners is Skills U, more commonly known as Kentucky Adult Education. They rebranded themselves in Kentucky and have been known as Skills U for the last few years. But they are our adult education provider, helping individuals attain that GED or also get them the necessary developmental coursework to be ready for certain jobs when needed. Also, shifting to 1 o'clock, our Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. I won't talk a lot about them, but they are another state partner. It falls under the Kentucky Education and Workforce Development Cabinet. They help individuals with a disability get employment. I won't talk much about them because you'll hear directly from Cheryl Martinez later on this morning, who will talk in more detail about their work. Gateway Community and Technical College, an amazing higher education partner. We often refer to Gateway for job seekers who are in need of career training and credentials. Northern Kentucky Community Action Commission, we partner with them in a number of ways. We partner with them with their Youth Build program. We also partner with them with their Senior Community Employment Support Program, which is basically a program that helps get individuals who are 55 or older into training opportunities to set them up for gainful employment after they participate and complete that program with us. TANK, I think we're one of the very few career centers that actually have the public transit system represented as one of our official partners, and we couldn't be happier to have TANK as one of our partners. They help job seekers in particular navigate the public transit system, which can often be pretty complex. They also do on-site assessments for their ramp services. So if an individual has some sort of physical limitation that prevents them from riding the regular TANK bus, TANK is on site here at our Covington Career Center and does assessments for the ramp services. So that's a really valuable resource as well. The Cabinet for Health and Family Services, we partner with them particularly through the Employment Connections Program, which I'll talk a little bit more about here in a minute. Really trying to get folks who are receiving public assistance, such as KTAP and SNAP, getting them connected to employment and community engagement opportunities. Certainly the Workforce Investment Board, as I said, drives all of our work as a region and oversees the Career Center operations. Goodwill is a partner, a great partner here at the Covington location, working specifically with homeless veterans or veterans who are at risk of homelessness. Kenton County Public Library is, I feel safe to say that they do the most work in the workforce arena out of any other library system in the state of Kentucky, to the point that they actually have staff devoted to helping with workforce. So they're a key player when it comes to working with both job seekers and employers in Northern Kentucky. Brighton Center, I already mentioned. Brighton Center has the contract through the Workforce Investment Board to serve as operator of the Career Center, so to oversee the day-to-day in all of our Northern Kentucky locations, and also administer those WIOA funds, the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act funds, to make sure our services are being delivered to both job seekers and employers. The Area Development District, we partner with them in a number of ways. Number one, they staff our WIB. And the other way is that they administer the Employment Connections Program. I alluded to that a minute ago when I talked about CHFS. The Employment Connections Program, again, is designed to get folks who are getting some sort of public benefit connected to employment. And then Job Corps, last but certainly not least, Job Corps is a partner who specializes in the opportunity youth age range, which is job seekers from 16 to 24. And they actually do residential-based career training. So their closest location in Kentucky is about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half away from Covington, but they take people, and it's almost like a campus type situation where job seekers go there, learn some valuable skills, and then be considered ready for the workforce. So that is a really quick rundown of many of our partner services. I wanted to touch on locations before I turn it over to Lauren Garrett. We have 8, as of this past January, we have 8 official locations in the Northern Kentucky region. We have our hub or comprehensive center located in Covington, right on Madison, right up the street from the cathedral, for those of you who are familiar with Covington. There are 8 on-site partners located at our Covington location. We have 2 affiliate locations. One is in Florence, which is housed in the government center there, where the city building is. We have 3 partners represented at our Florence location, and also an affiliate at our Williamstown location. We have also 3 partners there. We are co-located in Williamstown. We're actually housed in the NKU Grant County Center, and we're co-located with NKU and Gateway/Skills U at that location. So that's a really great built-in partnership there. And we have 5 access point locations. One is in Carrollton. One is at CVG Airport. And I always like to mention too that there are only 2 airports in the country that house American Job Centers or career centers, and we're one of those 2. So we're really proud about that. And there are actually 70 different employers that are at the CVG campus. Many people don't realize that there are that many employers at CVG, and we work with at least half of those on a regular basis. And then as of January, as I mentioned, we're pleased to announce that we added 3 additional access points through our 3 public library systems. Kenton County Public Library, specifically their Erlanger branch, is now an access point for services. Owen County Public Library in Owenton, as well as Pendleton County Public Library in Falmouth, are our newest access points. So job seekers can go there and get connected with either one of our Career Center staff or one of our library partner staff who can get them engaged in the network of services. We really felt like that was important because we want to have representation and be accessible to all 8 counties of the Northern Kentucky region. So that better positions us to do that. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Lauren Garrett, who is our relatively new regional workforce strategies coordinator. I always have a tough time with that title. And Lauren is going to take us through some of our specific employer services here in Northern Kentucky. So Lauren, you can take it away, please.
Perfect. Thanks so much. All right. So I work with the Brighton Center, a KCC partner, on behalf of the Northern Kentucky Workforce Investment Board. And we're going to go over a couple of our support systems for our employers. So starting off with our hiring events and on-site tours, our business service representatives, or BSRs, and I will probably just use the abbreviation BSR, going forward, offers hiring events, in-demand hiring events. So those take place in our offices. Those are coordinated the first and the third weeks of every month. So we look to focus on specific companies, and we bring those people in to have those on-site tours and in-demand hiring events. Our virtual tours, which are always an option for our employers that we work with, we like to promote our employers through social media. We are able to share space to pre-screen. So as we move from a virtual world to more of an in-person world, as we transition through some of these COVID changes, we do have spaces at our various different locations to offer places for employers to pre-screen their applicants. And again, we have job fairs throughout the year. We just had our job fair yesterday in partnership with Gateway Community and Technical College. And we were able to meet with 50 plus employers to introduce them to some of our customers that we've worked with. And again, open that up to the community and make sure that, again, our employers had a space to promote their opportunities. So we do have an upcoming job fair in August, and we will be working with some of our partners to allow employers to get information, again, through distribution lists that we have. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, someone on our BSR team. And again, those job fairs are at no cost to employers. So we'll move on to our next slide. Our Innovation Center and employee training. So I said that we had spaces to pre-screen. So our Innovation Center is one space that, again, could be an opportunity for employers to utilize in various different ways. So as COVID restrictions alter, the Innovation Center will become available. We can do and offer open house style recruiting, employer training events. We can offer meet and greet opportunities, staff meetings, things along the lines of Kentucky Essential Skills workshops, if those are important to employers or they need some more space to offer that to their training features. So throughout the state, and we offer an opportunity to connect employers with soft skill training. So we can work with employers to customize those trainings, things along the lines of leadership skills to support employee growth throughout the onboarding process. We also will be featuring on-the-job training. So as we work through, again, those COVID transitions, the on-the-job training is meant to offset employer training and cost through our WIOA grant funding. So this is a new opportunity that we'll be working with and exploring over the coming weeks. Go ahead and transition to our Facebook Live opportunities. So Facebook Live is another opportunity for employers to connect with potential job seekers. So these happen every Thursday morning. They are a weekly opportunity to work with Haley Franklin, who helps employers live stream their potential openings. And it's also an opportunity for employers to be able to share things like culture, their positions, engage with potential employees, where they're able to engage in those questions that come through Facebook Live. But it's also a space where we save and archive those videos on our Facebook page so that if an employer needs to connect a future employee with a video, they'll have our Facebook Live video to use as a resource. And again, that will stay on our Facebook page as an online and ongoing accessibility point. Our labor market information and employer feedback, we are a one-stop shop for up-to-date labor market information, which allows us to connect you with our labor analyst so that your company is able to have up-to-date information so that you're able to remain competitive in the labor market. So we also have a website tool that we are able to use for in-demand industry sectors with a regional focus. So again, that website is linked right down there in the third bullet point. If you have questions, feel free to reach out and connect with me on that, and I'd be happy to tie you into those resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. I am going to spend a minute talking about the federal bonding program, but I also was remiss earlier because I should have mentioned we will be sending out this PowerPoint deck to all participants following this meeting, along with a survey. And so I apologize if you're frantically trying to take notes. You don't necessarily need to do that because we are going to provide these slides to you after this meeting. The federal bonding program is an excellent opportunity, especially for employers who are open to hiring second chance or transformational type employees. Many in our current labor market, we all know as employers, it's very difficult now. It's a tough climate to find workers. And by considering individuals who may have a blemished background, that really increases your pool of candidates. And so one way that we can help you with that is connect you with the federal bonding program. This program, it's basically an insurance bond that's offered through the state of Kentucky. It basically protects you against any employee dishonesty. So if you're considering hiring a candidate with a background of theft, forgery, larceny, embezzlement, those in particular, you could qualify for this bond, and which protects you against any potential loss that you might incur as a result of employee dishonesty. I will say that in Kentucky, since we've instituted this program, which I believe was in 2018, this is not a new program to the U.S. It's been around since I believe the 1960s, but Kentucky was a little bit late in instituting this. But since we've done that, there's been less than a 1% default rate, which means that by and large, employees who have backgrounds, who have maybe a history of theft or anything like that on their record, there are very, very few times when the employer has experienced any sort of loss as a result of bringing that person on. So I would say that it's a win-win situation in many ways. It vastly expands your labor pool. And anecdotally, we can say that employees with some sort of background, we've seen that if an employer is willing to give them a chance, they tend to be your more loyal employees. You're probably going to have more success with retention with employees who you've given a chance to than otherwise. So I wanted to also say that there is a link for more information. I wanted to put that in the chat. I'm going to have to figure that out, how to access the chat. It's bondsforkentucky, I believe, .com. Katie Jo, if you are able to put that in the chat, or somebody who can actually see the chat at this point, I apologize. I can't get to the chat box right now. But there's more information about that, or you can feel free to reach out to any of our business service team who can to help you get connected to that program. This is at no cost to you as the employer, by the way, which is a very important thing to mention. So, all right, I'm going to transition over to Haley Franklin, our Youth Talent Development Specialist, who works mainly at our Carrollton Career Center. And she's going to talk to you a little bit about our Youth Talent Development Services. So, Haley.
Good morning, everybody. Can you all hear me okay? Nod or give me a thumbs up or something like that. My heater's on. It's cold in here.
Good.
Good. So my name is Haley Franklin, like Corey said, and I'm a little bit under the weather, so bear with me with my voice this morning. I am super excited to bring some information to you guys about our youth program. So we work with Opportunity Youth, and for those of you that are not familiar with that term, it basically just means that Opportunity Youth are youth 16 to 24 in age that basically have some sort of barrier that they are facing in life. And that barrier can be anything from being a single parent, being pregnant, having a disability, having low income, something like that. So we work with these youth and try to get them in positions that they are wanting to get more experience with, more so with our in-demand sectors. So that's healthcare, advanced manufacturing, transportation, logistics, trade, IT, business, finance, things like that. For these youth, we offer internships, which is a huge push that we're trying to get our youth individuals in the door for. So we are offering these internships up to $16 an hour, and around 1,040 hours is what it maxes out at. And that is about 1 hour or 1 year, 1 year of work. So with an internship, we actually pay the intern through the Brighton Center, through the Kentucky Career Center. So the employer is out no money. We will offer this to the youth, and we get them in your door as an employee. So for example, right now we have a youth that we just started in Florence. And he was actually on a Discover KCC a few months ago and thought, oh my gosh, this is a great opportunity. And now he has an intern. So that was just a one great example of how we kind of connect with the employers and get them help that they need while also getting the youth the experience that they need. So if any of you guys are interested in bringing an intern on board, please reach out to me. I'll put my information in the chat box at the end of this. So like I said, the internship is a huge thing right now that we're trying to push for our youth. We do have grant dollars from the WIOA federal grant, the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. There will not be a quiz at the end of this later. If you cannot remember that, that's okay. So we do have that federal grant that pays for the Opportunity Youth to have an internship. So not only do we do that, the rest of our services are free as well for any youth, not only Opportunity Youth. So keep that in mind. We do workshops. We teach things like soft skills, communication skills, things that you think that our generation need right now is probably something that they would benefit from the Kentucky Career Center. What to wear to an interview. That's a huge one. Some people, in that youth age bracket weren't taught proper clothing and proper attire to wear to an interview, and first impressions and how they stick. They say employers look at a youth within the first 7 seconds. They make a first impression just like that. So making sure that they have the right attire, making sure they have those communication skills and those soft skills, they can come to us. We can polish them up and get them ready for the real world. So keep those things in mind. We offer that. We offer paid internships, like I said. We also offer college funding. up to $7,000 in college funding for eligible youth that meet the criteria according to the state. And it can be used towards tuition, books, supplies, and mileage reimbursement. So keep that in mind. I am very passionate about this program, so I talk fast. So if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat, and I will make sure that I get with you and get those questions answered. I think I covered everything. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, Haley. We are gonna, if I can get the slide to transition forward. Not seeming to want to go to the next slide.
Hey, Corey, I put that federal bonding website into the chat. So you're correct. It is bondsforjobs.com.
Thank you, Katie Jo. Appreciate that. I don't know why I couldn't find the chat option, but I cannot get the slide to transition. That is interesting. Would the arrow perhaps be working on your end, Katie Jo? I don't know. My right arrow does not want to make the slide change.
So that is your slide, so I can't.
Oh yeah, I'm
So
sure.
you might want to unshare and reshare.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Sorry, everyone for the delay here. It wouldn't be right if we didn't have at least one tech issue. It wouldn't feel normal. Let's see here. All right. Zoom slideshow. Okay. Oh, good. It worked. Thanks, Katie Jo. All right. Next up is Cheryl Martinez. Cheryl is going to talk to us a little bit about the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation and, in particular, the services for employers. So, Cheryl.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you too for being here. I see that we've got a lot of folks, and I'm certainly happy to join you. And I work as an employer relations specialist and with the business service team as well at the Kentucky Career Center. I specifically work for the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, and we actually serve the entire state of Kentucky, but I serve the Northern Kentucky region. And as Corey pointed out, and certainly you all know that, especially in these times, that hiring and retaining the productive and diverse workforce is especially challenging right now with the labor market needs and shortages. So we want to assist you in meeting those challenges and help you diversify your workforce by providing our qualified candidates to meet your needs and retain your valued employees with disabilities. So in other words, you might have a valued employee that experiences a challenge by acquiring a disability after they've started working with you, or you discover that they're having issues with maintaining productivity or some challenges, and we can come in and try to assist with helping you with retention. So I'll describe a little bit of that as we go along. Our candidates, we work with our candidates from high school. We start working with candidates in high school or to help them identify what they want to do, just like anyone else, to do those transition services, keeping in mind, their aptitudes and learning about that and learning what they want to do. And we help with transitioning to post-secondary technical training or college, or direct into the workforce. We work with mid-career individuals, as I mentioned earlier. We work with individuals who want to stay in the workforce, maybe more mature workers, or those that want to come out of retirement and go back to work. So we work with the entire working age and even some retired population. We partner with our career center partners so we can cross-refer to each other. So some of our individuals, if they qualify for the youth program that Haley spoke about, we might work together, and we work with the other partners as well. So we're not in silos. We do work together. So as many of you probably already know, but I might want to point out that research studies have shown that employees with disabilities have average or better attendance, higher employment retention, average or better job performance, and average or better safety ratings as compared with colleagues without disabilities. Some of the employer solutions that we offer: we do pre-screen our candidates, and we know our candidates very, very well. We often work with individuals for several months, up to several years, especially with our youth. We start working with them in high school and until they are satisfactorily employed. We can help you reduce your costs in recruiting and hiring and training new employees. We do offer internships as well. We call them work experiences on the slide, but they're internships, and we have on-the-job training programs that we can offer, and we certainly partner with that, but we customize those to meet your needs and the needs of the individuals. There are tax credits available. We can assist you with obtaining the work opportunity tax credits, and the IRS has a number of tax credits if you do make some other accommodations for individuals with disabilities. There are tax credits available for those. And we also have our own rehabilitation technologies individuals that work for our agency, that if we need some additional assistance in brainstorming accommodation solutions, we have our trained technologists and engineers right on our staff that can come in and work with your company, work with our individual, and help us brainstorm and come up with some solutions. So I also can offer some disability awareness training for your staff, and that can be customized. We also, should you have some individuals that need some assistance with independent living, or I know a lot of you employers out there provide assistance to your employees in terms of supporting them through other means so that they can continue to go to work. And we help people with independent living. So you might have some individuals that are working for you, that they might have an elderly parent that has a vision loss, for example, and we can help those individuals. And so those are extra services that we can help you retain your employees. It's more of an adjunct service, but it does help. So I can be reached. My contact information is on the slide here. I'd be more than glad to try to answer your questions. I don't see the chat right now, but I'm happy to meet with you individually, tour your company, whatever it takes to assist your business. It's a win-win situation for everyone involved, because people with disabilities, just like everyone else, working can be, purposeful. It's definitely helps pay the bills. It's just better in general. It helps get people off of benefits that want to go to work. So we're here for you, and we're here for our job seekers. And I want to thank you for your time.
Thanks very much, Cheryl. Next, we have Jed Davis, who is our local veterans employer representative. Jed is going to talk to us about getting you connected with job candidates who are veterans. If I can get the slide to transition again, I might have to do the same thing as I did before. I apologize for the technical issue.
You can go ahead and work on that in background. I can talk while you work, Corey.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jed.
As you said, I'm Jad Davis. I'm the local Veterans Employment Representative. The most basic way to describe my job is I am the Veterans Business Service Rep for Northern Kentucky. So we do the Veterans Program, Jobs for Veterans State Grant, or JVSG. We do many of the same things as the other services, but we're veteran specific. So we work with the veterans that transitioning or may have barriers to employment. So we're working with them to get them job ready to be the best candidates for you. Some of that may just be simply helping them refine their resume. For a lot of veterans, I'm a 20-year veteran myself. In my career in the Army, I never had to write a resume, and I never had to do a traditional interview. So coming out of the military and the way the military and your job works, it's very much a different language than what HR is looking for a resume. So we work with them, and we kind of become that translator to go from veteran to HR speak on their resume. End result is we're developing and helping find that veteran and focus their search to the best, make them the best candidate for you as possible. My job is kind of to be that liaison between the veteran searching and the jobs you have. So short version is, I'm the guy that, it's not who you know or what you know, it's who you know. I'm the guy that's for the veterans to who you know to help make that connection. Because if you've been away for 4 or more years from your hometown, you're coming back to the area, you have no clue where to start for a job search. What you looked at in the past were businesses that you knew, oh, these were good places to work for. They may still be good places, but they're not hiring at the time. So you got to know, who's hiring, what jobs they're looking for to match your skills up. So that's kind of the short version of what we do. More than happy to talk to you about how we can specifically help your business and what skills you're looking for from a veteran. And I'm very happy to announce that we now have a DVOP, or Disabled Veterans Outreach Program Coordinator, which is they work with the veteran side more in the program. And Carla Cardenas just started with us, and we're very excited to have her on board. So that's my spiel.
Thanks a lot, Jed. All right, and I believe I'm up next really quickly to talk about some of our general COVID resources that are offered through the state. Thankfully, we are nearing the end of COVID, but as we all know, it's still out there, and it's still a concern for many people. And the state of Kentucky has done a nice job offering different resources to help employers and the general public, but particularly employers in some cases navigate the world of COVID when it comes to helping their workforce maintain. And so the web address that you see on the slide there is a very helpful resource. I would encourage you to check that out, kycovid19.ky.gov. It has a hotline there for emergency information, or just information in general about COVID, I should say. A list of testing locations. It has a dashboard. I just visited this site this morning to check it out. And it's great to see that there are no counties in Kentucky that are currently in the red right now. So that's we've come a long way since January. There's a mental health helpline. Many of you, if you haven't dealt with it directly, you probably are aware of at least some of your employees have struggled with mental and emotional wellness during COVID. It's been very difficult for a lot of people. So there's a mental health helpline to help get people connected to those support resources. There's also a domestic violence hotline available. There's information about how to access Medicaid. This sort of scratches the surface, but these are some examples of the resources that can be found on this website. So I would encourage you to check out those resources. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the presentation piece. I'm going to go ahead and unshare the screen, and I would welcome you all to unmute your microphone, maybe turn your camera on if you have questions. I'm hoping that we can answer your questions, or if not, get you certainly connected to the right person. And I don't see, I now can see the chat box. I do not see any questions in the chat. I guess we covered everything.
Hey, Corey, I have a question here. This is Brian Cross with OMS Staff Solutions. Jed and I work together, and we've done things in the past and that. So what I do is I run a staffing agency called OMS Staff Solutions, and we do a lot of stuff with our stuff moves quickly. So we do a lot of skilled trades, construction, staffing. We do manufacturing, production, and that as well. So I have a few questions here. It's obviously this has been a challenging time, finding people who one want to work, and B, who want to show up when they get offered an opportunity too. So, but part of my goal is, like, I will have requests that come down saying, hey, we need 4 guys for plumbers. I need 5 pipe fitters, stuff like that. So I'm trying to find a way to kind of get me in a quick contact. I don't know if you guys use a job board. Overall, I'll shoot emails like to Jed from time to time when I need certain people, or I'm looking for people. I mean, we do a lot in Kentucky. We have customers in Ohio, obviously, and stuff like that. But is there a way to, I don't know if there's a way to shoot out like my open positions of things I'm looking for immediately and get them out to your resources, so to speak? Because I wrote down a lot of stuff like with Gateway and even like with Brighton and stuff like that. And some of my customers are even going towards, hey, we'll take people that even have 6 months worth of job experience as a plumber, that, as opposed to, hey, we want, at least 2 or 3 years worth. So that's kind of my question in a long drawn out, I guess, asking of it.
No, thank you, Brian. And certainly there's a big shortage with qualified candidates to fill the skilled trade positions. There's no doubt. One thing that we're doing right now, and I invite all of my colleagues to jump in too here if you want, but one of the things that we're doing now, and you may have heard of this, Brian, it's called Trades to Success. We're doing a pre-apprenticeship program. And what this is a 3-week program that orients individuals to the different opportunities within the skilled trade sector. Okay. And we've been really successful in getting folks into either a full apprenticeship after that pre-apprenticeship so that they can have an opportunity to see really what they're well suited for. But also some of those individuals transition directly to employment, which is kind of where I'm going here for you, because I know that there's such a high demand that, just even getting the pre-apprenticeship under their belt may be enough for some employers to kind of then take it from there and do some on the job training. And so Rob Clark is the person who's actually, it was Rob. I'm sorry. Rob has gotten promoted. Now it's Reggio Rodriguez. So Reggio is the person that you would reach out to get more information about the Trades to Success pre-apprenticeship program, and also maybe talk with Reggio about getting the candidates connected then directly to some of your job opportunities and working with those employers that you work with. I'm going to put Reggio's email address in the chat here. Hopefully that's helpful, Brian.
Yeah, no, that does. It's helpful, very much so, trying to just get a source to where you find people, or at least have you know, I would love to be able to just shoot people emails or stuff like that in terms of, hey, what I'm looking for. A lot of times somebody might come across people as well. They can shoot them my number or my information. Cause I mean, we're out on, you know, Indeed and Craigslist and different job boards, if you so to speak. And man, it's been a little tough just finding the skilled trades part of it. And in that regard. So, but that would help. And I'm sure he has other resources as well.
Also, when you have those pop-up positions, I know you send them to me. We'll need to share them with Corey and Lauren. We got to put it on social media to get it out on a blast as well. That way it's getting to more of an audience. But the easier way to do that is do us up a little flyer, just kind of something that's easy to post. That way we're not having to create the flyer for you, and we can post it on our social media, which gets out to a lot of our audience as well. Gets a lot of the business or job seekers are on social media, and it's amplified because other people can share it, so it gets out further than, you know, like anything we would post here. And also I'll connect with Lauren with the In Command Career Days. It may not be beneficial right at that moment, but it gets people seeing your name, what you have that day you can talk about, and it gets people recognizing your brand, your name, and I need to check with him. I know somebody's looking for this work. So sometimes it's that secondary and third person that knows about you that makes that connection.
Yeah, and I know we started some of that because you got me involved, and I started to do the same. And as we were coming over to some job fairs or some career center stuff, and then we had that lovely pandemic hit. That kind of put a damper on a lot of things. So as we kind of got out, because we also work with Cincinnati Job Corps as well, and those regards. So would it, Jeb, to answer that question, would it be helpful to just be able to send you like my sort of maybe a dumbed down version or a shorter version of like what we put out for our ads on Indeed? Just say, hey, here's several positions we're looking for, and then you guys can shoot it out. I guess that would probably be the easiest, is just kind of shoot you a little description, what we're looking, you know, the position, a pay range, that kind of stuff.
We can get together here sometime next week and kind of work on a flyer together that will make it easy to post.
Okay.
And I thought we had you on Focus. Did we not get you signed into Focus?
I don't know. I mean,
okay. We'll revisit that, because that's our, as Corey mentioned it earlier, but that's our free version of Indeed, and that's really beneficial.
Yeah,
making connections, because not only is it free, but when anybody that comes through the Career Center for any program, we encourage them to sign up. And there's some programs where that's a mandatory part of it. So they're now, if they're in the trades, they're on Focus, they're looking for those jobs, and you're out there on it, it helps highlight you. And one of the big ones that everybody that's coming through for unemployment in-person assistance, we have them sign up for Focus. It's now part of the requirement that they have to do the job search. So that means of the 600,000 claims of unemployment right now, give or take, they're signing up for Focus and looking for, and it's across the state. It also shares with Indiana and Ohio, well, all our surrounding states, but for the Northern Kentucky region, Indiana and Ohio is critical for us, because that's one post is hitting the entire region and, you know, the whole state, and it's bringing more eyes onto your business as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned, sorry, Brian, I'm glad you mentioned Focus, Jed, because that's an important resource for employers. It's Focus has two sides. There's the Focus Career, which is what the job seekers do when they post their resume. That's part of the requirement, as Jed was saying, to file for unemployment. But then there's Focus Talent, which is for employers. And that's a free resource to go ahead and post your positions, and also to be able to log in and sift through many of those resumes. So yeah, I would highly encourage you to go that route to get some of your positions posted.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, Corey, my name is Sonia Jackson, and I'm a recruiter with Kelly Services. And I would love to get more information about the focus. I'm not quite sure who to email, either flyers, job descriptions, anything like Brian. It's been quite a challenge in the light industrial field. And I recruit solely for a distribution center in Walton, but I have teammates that are recruiting for jobs in Erlang or Heber, this entire area. So this would be extremely helpful because, again, it's been a challenge. I'm trying to be positive here, but we had our positions filled in Walton back in March, and they came back and said, hey, we got 10 more openings beginning of May. Started 2 people. I'm trying to look at the positive. It's better than 0. But I've actually got 5 people cleared for next week, but that has taken me, what is the date? Almost 6 weeks to get another 6 people cleared. And it's just a matter of trying to find qualified candidates, for, and again, light industrial, warehouse, forklift, production, any of that. But I'm competing with, I don't know if I'm still competing with unemployment. Some states are still giving the extra. And I've had people tell me, nah, I'll give you a call back in a few months when I need you. So, but if I could get an email, some type of contact for Focus, that would be great for myself and a couple of other recruiters.
Absolutely. So we have a team of business service representatives, and Lauren Garrett, who spoke earlier, is leading that team. And so Lauren would be the best person to reach out to. It's L Garrett, LGARRETT at brightoncenter.com. And as I mentioned earlier, the PowerPoint slides will be sent out later this afternoon, and her information is on one of those slides.
I've also posted a link to the Focus Talent Sign Up page. And to learn more about it, our kcc.ky.gov website is where this is housed. It has a little bit more overview information on Focus, both career and talent. So that's also a good resource for employers. You can visit the webpage, and a lot of our programs are listed and points of contact, and it gets a little more in detail than what we shared here today in this, roughly hour. It gives you, and it gives you other offshoots of different programs that we may not have mentioned that you may be interested in as well.
We feel we understand your pain, Sonia. Yep. Any other questions? We're at 9:59, so this timing wise, it worked out perfectly. I wanted to say one last thing. When I send out the PowerPoint slides, that email will also include a link to a survey. We would really appreciate it if you'd take just a couple minutes to complete that survey. It's just a few questions, and we really do use that information to assess how we're doing and make changes accordingly. So, all right, if there are no other questions, thank you again for your time this morning, and happy Friday to everyone.
Thank you.